We are now just 2 days away from the first Democratic presidential debate. Frontrunner Hillary Clinton will slug it out with a surging Bernie Sanders on the national stage. At the same time, many of the headlines are about someone who won't be in the room on Tuesday, Vice President Joe Biden, who is still reportedly mulling a presidential bid. Let's break it down with our political panel. Brad Blakeman, former senior advisor to President George W. Bush, and Emily Tish Sussman, campaign director at the Center for American Progress Action Fund. Emily, ladies first, to you. Hillary Clinton's poll numbers have continued to go lower than anyone thought was possible. Hit rock bottom and started to dig. The question is this debate make it or break it for her?
Well, she has been and will continue to be the front runner in the Democratic primary. I think what this does is gives her a very good opportunity to try to refocus the conversation. She's had a strong week this past week doing SNL. Her Today Show interview where she came across as very personable and addressed issues head on. Look, Sanders had only up to go. He was starting from basically nowhere. He's an unknown nationally and is trying to pull from her left. So he's been moving in that direction, and it's been difficult for her to break through on issues. This gives her an opportunity to do so.
Brad, do you think this conversation, because it's only Democrats on the stage, is only going to be about quote-unquote issues? All of Benghazi, Emailgate, all that stuff may not even come up.
Well, if it doesn't come up, I don't know how anybody wins this debate. If you're an O'Malley, if you're Bernie Sanders, you're looking to hurt Hillary. She's the front runner.
But they haven't been hitting her on that so far.
And that's why this debate is so important. For Hillary, all she needs to do is get by because, as you pointed out in the intro, the biggest guy hasn't shown up yet, and that's Joe Biden. Once he gets in the race, it dramatically changes the race. And
you just said once he gets in the race. Interesting question for you. We don't know whether he's going to get in or not, but let's just assume for the moment that he will get in. Is sitting out this debate the right thing to do?
Look, I think that if he was going to get in, then actually he should be in this race. He has very high name ID, which would be the thing you'd worry about most getting into a race early. People know who he is. But he will have to define himself as separate from the Obama presidency. So he needs every opportunity he can to do that. So if he was going to, getting in this race would certainly be an opportunity to do that.
Brad, if you were advising him, would you say sit this debate out, or would you say go in?
No, sit it out. You're in the catbird seat. Right now, you get to watch the debate. You get to be part of the debate, even though you're not there. You're a winner just by not showing up.
That's not a bad position to be in. Interestingly enough, Bernie Sanders is starting to get some tougher questions now that he's surging in the polls. Take a listen to him earlier on Meet the Press.
When one of your Republican colleagues gets on the show, do you say, "Are you a capitalist?" Have you ever referred to them as capitalists?
Yeah. Are you a capitalist?
No. I'm a democratic socialist. But what I mean is I've been elected as an independent throughout my political career.
Forget for a moment what a democratic socialist actually means. I'm not sure anyone is clear. Perhaps Senator Sanders is. The question is that can you win the Democratic nomination pulling from such a hard left position? It's very hard to win the South that way.
I think it would be hard to win all over that way. He's definitely defining a ground for himself. But what is his path forward? Like, what is his national path? Even if he ends up winning New Hampshire, which would be the only possible, I think, is that is his next neighboring home state. What is a democratic socialist? That is really the question here.
You can't even Google it.
It's never the questions that get you in trouble, only the answers.
That's right.
Is he going to ever have to answer that, you think, Brad?
Of course he's going to have to answer it, because you have to be selected by the party before you're elected by the people. If the Democrats select this guy, it's the best thing that happened to Republicans, because I believe, as a democratic socialist, the American people reject that in a general election.
Well, reject it in a general election if they do pick it in a primary election. We'll leave it there. Appreciate both of you being here. Emily, Brad, always good to see you guys. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right.